Hello guys, Hamza here with Brand New Dreams. On this channel, we talk everything branding for small businesses. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not in San Diego. This is Tokyo, Japan. And today's video is going to be about branding and design of small businesses in Tokyo. It's pretty much just a collection of clips showing you what are their storefronts look like, what are their logos look like, and pretty much what is the branding and design looks like here of small businesses. So without further ado, let's get to it. So what do you do when you land in a city like Tokyo for the first time after a 13-hour flight? You go get some food and you go get a drink. That's exactly what we did. We went to the back streets of Shinjuku. We were Omoide Yokocho Street to be exact. It's a famous alleyway street with tiny bars and restaurants. We stopped by this hole in the wall for some Japanese whiskey. One thing you notice very quick is how they deal with space. Well, they waste none of it. Everything is exactly where it needs to be, and there's a beauty to that. Anyway, that was our first night. The next day, we had to start with the touristy, must-see stuff. We went to the Sonzonji Temple and Nakamise Street. And I'm sorry if I'm butchering the names of these historical places. Please do your part to research these places. I'm in here for the branding, design, and food. Speaking of food, there was street food everywhere. Everything that we got to try felt like an experience. The textures, the colors, the feelings. You can tell every small shop had a focus and took the time to perfect what they serve. Like this guy, for example. All he sold were these amazing handmade rice crackers. This guy for me is the representation of good branding, simplicity and consistency. After all this food, we went and got more food. We had to try some okonomiyaki. So we went to a mancha-style restaurant in the neighborhood. I mean, look at us pretending like we know what we're doing. Later that evening, we're still in a touristy train. We went to a Gundam-themed cafe, fun drinks, playful atmosphere, nerds everywhere. Hey, I'm a nerd too, so the place really did feel nice and homey. But you know, we wanted to try something a little more authentic. We heard about this place in Akihabara that serves beef katsu. Gyukatsu Ichi-ni-san. Beef katsu is a piece of breaded meat, it's served rare, it's crunchy, and it's just delicious. Okay, get this. In this restaurant, that is all they sell. Are they good at it? They perfected it. Okay, I've only been here for a couple days and I love this place already. It is overwhelmingly beautiful and awesome. Another day in Tokyo. Okay, you start the day with some coffee and some baked goods. This place, Saint Mark Cafe, is a chain, but it doesn't feel like one at all. Everything they make is fresh. Most Japanese bakeries are self-service style. So yeah, when you're picking up what you want, this stuff looks so good you can't just pick one croissant. You gotta at least try 2 or 3 things, you know? By the way, these bakeries are everywhere and they're all good too. We didn't come across one that didn't knock it out the park. So we were walking around Nakano Station and we were craving some noodles. So we asked Siri for a good udon around, and man, we got so lucky. We walked in here like 2 confused tourists and we walked out so grateful we ate there. The best tempura and handmade udon we've ever had. Real Japanese atmosphere and seating. Good food and just a good time. Lunch was delicious, but we had to walk it off, so we went for a stroll around Koenji. Koenji is a cool and hipstery neighborhood around Tokyo. Another thing we noticed is everything looks good and cute. Cuteness is a culture in Japan. Like, check out this pudding. It comes in this egg-shaped packaging. It's an experience in itself.
Look at this, it's like an egg, it's like un huevo. Oh my god, just so creamy.
We stopped by this small coffee shop for a cup of coffee. I've had craft coffee before. This coffee though tasted just a little bit better. You know, in Japan I learned this term, kodawari. If you Google it, kodawari means the uncompromising and relentless devotion to a pursuit, an art, a craft, an activity. It happens when a very high standard is set. Well, that's what this coffee tasted like. It felt like it was made with just a little bit more love. These little good things add up to make another great day in Tokyo. The next day, we had to try something a little more familiar. We went to Paul, the French bakery chain. I don't know why, but every time I travel, I feel the urge to try brands that I know, like McDonald's or Starbucks. After breakfast, we took the train to Shibuya. It was raining outside, so guess where we ended up? You know, Starbucks here has some of that kodawari. It's just a little bit better, you know? You know which brand they went crazy with in Japan? Kit Kat, bro. Kit Kat in Japan is a different world. So many flavors, so little time to try them all. Okay, so if I'm asked to describe the design of small businesses in Tokyo in 3 words, what would those 3 words be? I think for me, those 3 words would be kodawari, kaizen, and kawaii. Kodawari is the relentless devotion to an art or a craft. Kaizen, it's the philosophy of continuously improving. And kawaii is the culture of making things cute and adorable. Isn't that cute? Just look at the branding here. Butter Butler. Caught my eye right away. The color combination, it's playful and retro, classy, and it's just a cute name and brand and everything. We grabbed a quick bite at one of those restaurants where you order outside at a vending machine. And you know what? Not bad. And after another great lunch, we walked around beautiful Shibuya. Okay, before I went to Japan, I knew about the great history. I expected the amazing food, the sushi, the expensive Japanese whiskey. I even knew about the adorable culture. What I didn't know, and I learned during this trip, is 1, people in Japan are really polite. You gotta see it for yourself. Everywhere you go, people are kind and courteous. The second thing I learned was kind of a rabbit hole. Tokyo apparently is a rising hotspot for vintage clothing. There are so many vintage stores in Tokyo, and it's quality stuff too. I mean, the buyers of these stores seem experienced and just have good taste. We found clothes being bought from all around the world. And this stuff is not cheap either. You won't be popping tags left and right. The branding is on point too. Check out this store. Slut is the name of it. I mean, these guys are risk takers. See, I love vintage stores. Vintage clothes look better and are better for the environment. I love finding clothes in Goodwill or Salvation Army.
Speaking of Salvation Army, check out these guys. Does this logo remind you of anything? Tokyo, it's this amazing big city, but it's still very charming and beautiful. And I think that's mainly because of its people. In the midst of all the noise, somehow you still get to feel the culture, the history, the kindness, the cuteness, the commitment to getting better. Every small shop or every small store, every corner has a story to tell. It's like the streets of Tokyo are this big library, and every storefront is like a book cover. We simply loved it.
Alright, so that's our video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section. These videos take a little bit of work, so please show some support and hit that subscribe button. And we're done. Peace.